"Hello, this is Diep speaking," she said softly, as if greeting both the world and her own thoughts, from the doorway of the small house at the end of the hill. Her voice drifted into the quiet afternoon. Life around her had settled into a rhythm, gentle, steady, and tinged with longing. Every day she cleaned the kitchen, saving the few sweet potatoes that weren't too spoiled, planning meals that would make little NHI smile. And every day, without fail, the child would look up at her with wide eyes and ask, "Auntie Diep, will Uncle James visit today?" Diep would smooth Nee's hair and answer with a patient smile, "Not today, sweetheart. He's still at work, maybe in a day or two." But she knew, deep down, that James had been gone too long. Every call she made ended with the same mechanical voice telling her the number couldn't be reached. Every message she sent disappeared into silence. Still, she tried to keep warmth inside the house, cooking dinner, bathing NHI, reminding her to wash her hands, coaxing her to eat even when the little girl pouted and said food tasted worse without James. Meanwhile, the world outside didn't pause for her heartache. News of her mother's worsening illness struck like a sudden storm. The cost of surgery, hundreds of millions of dong, pressed on her chest. And relatives urged her to arrange it quickly. She felt stretched thin, fighting battles on every front. Yet the one person she hoped would return, would reach out, would care, never appeared. At night, when NHI finally drifted to sleep, Diep would sit beside the warm pot of water prepared for washing and whisper into the darkness, "Where are you, James? Are you safe?" Nights like that left her feeling fragile, as though a single gust of wind might scatter her into pieces. But one evening, as she watched NHI breathing softly under the blanket, something inside her shifted. She realized she had been waiting in loneliness far too long. Those who truly cared didn't disappear without a word. A single message, anything, could have eased her heart. But James left her with nothing, not even certainty. And so, she let the waiting go. In the middle of all the chaos, hospital appointments, bills to prepare, meals to cook, school mornings to manage, someone else had stepped quietly into her life. A man who didn't promise the world but showed up anyway, offering help when she needed it most. His presence didn't replace James, but it filled the house with a steadiness she had forgotten existed. NHI had begun to smile more around him, her laughter echoing through the small rooms like sunlight. One night, after bathing NHI and putting her to bed, Diep stepped outside into the cool air. The sky above was hazy, the kind of night where everything felt possible and impossible at the same time. She closed her eyes and whispered, as if releasing the final thread of an old dream, "James, you've been gone too long. I waited as long as I could. But now, I choose to walk forward." The breeze carried her words into the quiet, and for the first time in a long while, her heart felt still, warm, and open. A new kind of happiness was approaching, slow, gentle, and real. She would choose the person who stayed, not the one who left. And as she heard NHI giggling softly in her sleep behind her, Diep knew the truth. A new chapter was already blooming, tender as morning light and full of hope.